In the last video, we discussed about how to find the percentage of the population that lies within k standard deviation from the mean, right? That the formula was 1 minus 1 over k squared, where k is greater than 1. That was given by the Chebyshev's or the Chebyshev's theorem, okay? So here, on this video, actually we are going to talk about measure of position, okay? So we measure the relative position of a data point. For this, we use standard score, percentile, deciles, or quartiles. All right. So the first of all we do is standard score or the Z-score. Okay. So for example, if you score 90 in statistics and 60 in biology, what can you say about your position in that class? Which test you think is better? So you may think that 90 is definitely bigger than 60 out of 100, so maybe it is better. So we never know, because we want to see your relative position, meaning that what is the class average? Is your score below the average or greater than the average? Because out of 100, if you score 90 but the class average is 95, then you score below the average. But in the biology, if the average score is 55 out of 100, then your score is above the average, meaning that your position is better in that, right? So what we want to do is we want to find your relative position of a data point by using this standard score, okay? So here we cannot compare them directly, since the test may have different in many aspects, such as the number of questions, length of the questions, the class average, and so on, right? But we can compare your position related to the other students, okay? A Z-score or a standard score for a value value is obtained by subtracting the mean from the value and dividing the result by the standard deviation. For example, the formula of the standard score is G. We denote standard score by G, or the Z-score by G, which is x minus x bar. You subtract the average by x and divide by the standard deviation. In that way, it will be unitless, okay? Because the unit on the top and unit on the bottom will cancel out. And for the population, it's the same thing, but x bar is denoted by mu in the population, right? Because the mean is denoted by mu and standard deviation is denoted by sigma in case of the population. But in the sample, it is x bar and s. A Z-score represents the number of standard deviation a value is above or below the mean. Alright, let us do some examples. Suppose in above example, the statistics test score had class mean 92 and standard deviation 4, and the biology test has class mean 59 and standard deviation 2.5. Then for statistics, the standard score is x minus x bar over s. You get negative 0.5. And in biology, then your standard score or the Z-score is 0.4. Which one is bigger? This one is bigger, right? So thus you have a higher relative position in biology class. You see that what we can say about your score from here? You can say that your score 90, because your score was 90, is 0.5 standard deviation below the mean. Yeah, that's right, because see, your score was 90 and then class average was 92. So what is the difference? It is 2, right? The difference 2 is half of the standard deviation, right? And it is 90 is below that. That means from here we can say that your score is 5 standard deviation below. 5 standard deviation below the class average. Similarly, in the biology, you use the same formula, you get 0.4, meaning it is positive, so it is above. Your score in biology is 0.4 standard deviation above the average, class average. So you can say that you did better in biology. Your position in the biology is better than in the statistics. That's what it says. Okay, for sample with mean 10 and standard deviation, so mu or x bar and s is given, right? X bar is 10 and s is given. Find the Z-score. So what is the Z-score for 17? Is x is 17 minus x bar is 10 divided by 1.5. So how much is 7 over 1.5? So 7 over 1.5 is, actually you get 4.67. it is a positive 4.67, meaning 17 is 4.67 standard deviation above the mean. You can say that way. Okay. So the next measurement for the position is percentile. We don't ask this percentile in the final exam, but you need to know that because we ask this in the test and the online homework. Okay. So let us talk about what is percentile. So percentile divides the data into 100 equal parts. A percentile rank for a datum represents the percentage of data values below the data. Meaning if your grade is on 95th percentile, what does that mean? That means in the class, 95% of the grades are below your grade. That's what it means. Okay. So basically percentile rank for a data represents the percentage of the data values below that data point. Okay. So it is given by number of values below that data X plus 0.5 divided by total number of values times 100%. So to find the percentile rank of a percentile of a given data, we need to arrange the data into the ascending order. Let us do an example. A teacher gives a 20-point test to 10 students. Find the percentile rank of a score 12 in the data. These are the data points. So you want to know what is the percentile rank for the 12, meaning what percentage of the data are below 12. That's what the percentile means. Okay. So first thing you do is sort the data. So increasing order, in the increasing order, that's what you did. Okay. And then percentile for 12 is number of value below 12 plus 0.5 divided by total number of values. So how many values are below 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 plus 0.5 over 10, because the total number of data is 10, times 100%, that is 65%, meaning your rank, your percentile rank is 65th, 65 percentile. Your grade is 65%. That means a student whose score was 12 did better than 65% of the class. Okay. Next is the percentile graph. Percentile graphs are similar to the less than ogive. We draw the percentile graph. What we need to do is we need to find the percentage of each cumulative frequency by cumulative frequency divided by total frequency times 100%. For example, look at this example. See, there are data 89.5 through 104.5. There are 24 data. Between 104.5 to 119.5, there are 62 data, and so on. Now, what you do is you need to find out the less than 89.5 is 0, less than 104.5 is 24, and so on. Now, I want to find out the percentage rank of all these cumulative data. So, what is the percentage rank of 0? It will be 0 over the total is 200, right? The total is 200. 0 over 200 times 100%, it will be 0. So that's why the cumulative percent is 0. For the next one, for 24, you do 24 over 200, that is total times 100 is 12. And in that way, you find out the cumulative percentage for each of those. Then what you do is along x-axis, you draw the these boundaries, okay, class boundary, the lower limit of each class boundary and the upper limit of the last class boundary, last class, okay. And then the value, the y value will be like this: 0, 12, 43, 79, 92, and so on. And you join those dots with the line segment. Okay. Percentile graph can be used to find out percentile of any data and to find the data for corresponds that corresponds to any percentile. For example, from the above graph, you see that the percentile corresponding to the 118 is somewhere here, right? How do I find out what percentile is 118? You go up to the line where it crosses and then go horizontally left. Okay, that is 40 percentile. You see that? Similarly, if you want to find out 17th percentile, what data is 17th percentile? You go horizontally and then go down. That is 132, 133, like that. Okay. So if you have a percentile graph, then you can find out percentile of any number, any data point, or data point corresponding to any percentile. That's how you do. Okay. Now, how do I mathematically find out a value for a given percentile? If percentile is given, okay, how do I find out the value? So the first thing you do is arrange the data from lowest to highest, meaning arrange the data in the increasing order. Okay. Next, evaluate C. Using C equals to N is the number of data points, P is the percentile given, okay, divided by 100, where N is the number of values and P is the percentile. If C is not a whole number, round up to the next whole number, always round up. Starting at the lowest value, count over the number that corresponding to the rounded up value, sixth value. If C is a whole number, if it is not a whole number, you round up to the next whole number. If C is a whole number, then use the value halfway between sixth and C plus 1th value when counting up from the lowest value. You will see one example, then the things will be clear. Okay, find the test from the test score. These are the test score in a test. Find the 25th and 60th percentile. So first of all, you want to find out the percentile here. So how do you find? Sort them into the ascending order. Okay, now to find out the 25th percentile, what do? You do n times p over 100, right? So n is total is 10 times p is percentile 25th divided by 100 is 2.5. This is the decimal, right? This is not a whole number, so you round up. If you round up, it will be 3. So what will be the third number? First, second, third is 5. So round up to 3 and the third value, which is 5. Hence, the value 5 corresponding to the 25th percentile. Similarly, for the 60th percentile, what do you do? N times p over 100. If you do that, you get 6, which is a whole number. Now, what you need to do is to find out the percentile, 60th percentile, you need to find the average of 6th and 7th. See? Since C is a whole number, we find the average between 6th and 7th term, which is 10 and 12. Which one is the 6th? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th, and 7 is 10 and 12. What is the average of 10 and 12? Is 10 plus 12 divided by 2 will be 11. That's what you do. Okay. In above example, if you want to find out 47th percentile, what you need to do is 47 times 10, right? So you need to find out C, that will be 10 times 47 over 100, right? That will be 4.7, which is 5, right? If you round it up. So what is the fifth data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So the answer will be, so percentile will be, the answer is 8. That's how you need to find out. Okay, guys? So this is all about finding the percentile for a given data, and if a data is given, how to find percentile, and if a percentile and data is given, how to find a particular data. If the percentile is given, how to find a particular data that corresponds to that percentile. Thank you.